What's up, fellas? We're back in the studio from the Barstool office. It's time for Wake Up Mintzy. I don't know what y'all did with y'all's lives with no show being last week because we had a solid 5 or 6 weeks in a row before that. But we're back, and we are back for good. We're fired up to be here. I'm not hurting at all from New Orleans and JazzFest today. I mean, just couldn't be feeling better. And we're sponsored by the fine folks of Dude Wipes. You can find Dude Wipes all over the country, Walmart, Target, retail stores, and online. One use of Dude Wipes will change your life. You'll wonder why you ever use dry, scratchy, crappy toilet paper again. Hell, my dad even found Dude Wipes on the shelves at Walmart in Monroe, Louisiana. Joined as always by Tyler Moody from Louisiana. What's up, Mr. Moody? How are you doing this morning?
Yo, good morning, Ben. A little bit tired this morning. Stayed up late. I watched the Tom Brady roast, which is 3 hours long, by the way. And I know we can kind of talk about that at some point, but it was really good. So stayed up later than I should have, and I'm hurting a bit this morning as well. But happy to be here, happy to be back, and ready to hear about the explorations of Mincy.
Hell yeah. Well, we're going to chug some Stella Blue coffee and wake up and get my mind right before that. All right. Let's get to it. Stella Blue, sponsor of the Chicago Cubs and Wake Up Mintzy, two of the longest standing institutions in the game. I feel like people were falling a pretty good bit. Luckily, we have Dude Wipes to clean up messes. I'm walking back into the office a little bit of a mess. I caught some heat last week in the Yak and Big Cat, especially because I was out all last week and was in South Louisiana. But it got pretty wild down there, as it always does. I took a trip where I went to Daytona Beach last week for the Moneymaker Tour. Been a little hot in the poker. We'll get to that in a minute. I chopped a $500 tournament for like $4,900 last Sunday. And Moody, you know me well. Don't put a bunch of money in my wallet before JazzFest. You know things, if that's going to happen, are going to escalate. Went to New Orleans Monday. Got to set feet on the wood for the Thunder Pelicans game. No surprise. Thunder ended up sweeping them. Not going to touch too much on the Pelicans because they're long gone now. Just not the same without Zion. Thunder Mavs game one, I believe tonight. Yeah, it is tonight. Excited to see that. Thunder sweeping the Pels, the Mavs beating the Clippers. Don't have too much to say there. Tuesday, went to MC'd and went to the Andy Frasco Super Jam at the House of Blues, New Orleans. With JazzFest is going on, there's night shows all over NOLA. Moody, these Frasco shows, man. I mean, I know you've been to them before. You know Andy, what a character he is. I got to MC it. Did not know I was going to be doing the Hava Nagala. We did the crowd surfing video in Chicago, and my dumbass jumped on my stomach to crowd surf, which was not very smart. And in the middle of the show, and I believe we got this video, he just goes out in the crowd and he says, "Barstool Sports, where the hell are you?" And he brings me out. I jump over a rail
Showing the video
from the
right
stage.
now with the chair.
Yeah, and now they're showing the video of me getting passed around on the chair all over the House of Blues, and I think I look kind of terrified in it. This whole scene was just nuts. I mean, crazy.
What's it like in that moment? I mean, the whole entire venue is now focused on you.
I'm kind of just holding on for dear life. If you want the honest truth, because I bent the freaking chair. I'm just getting sent all over the room. I was a little nervous. I wasn't as nervous as when I crowd surfed the first time, because once I did that, I kind of knew these guys had me. I had 10 guys carrying me around and passing me around. But man, it was a wild scene. I mean, it was crazy. The Frasco show is always great. Y'all check out Andy Frasco in the UN. He's one of the funniest people of all time. But yeah, I survived it, got down. There were like 800 people in the House of Blues for this thing. But overall, I thought it was a big success. The show was just killer. Super, super high energy. They played Dr. John Such a Night. Bunch of other covers. I Want You to Want Me and Twist and Shout and La Bamba. And man, it was huge time on Tuesday night. And I kind of made an executive decision that clearly was, judging by Big Cat's reaction to things, probably not the right one. I thought that the Frasco MCing and the doing video with that would go viral, which it did. That got over 1 million views. But Big Cat hit me with Tuesday. He texted me and said, "What all are you doing in New Orleans?" And I sent him my itinerary. He's like, "You got to start doing the work reports again." So I'm sending Dave and Big Cat work reports every day, which, look, all these people are like, "Oh, that's terrible for you, blah, blah, blah." It's really good for me. What? I need some accountability. It wouldn't be me that's ever run wild here at Barstool. at all. So started sending those in again. It's got me blogging again. I'm blogging 3 times a day, working on that. And so sent in the work report, and then Dave Portnoy tweeted out on Wednesday morning, work report, 3:24 a.m., did the Hava Nagala, which I thought was pretty funny because I posted that video at like 2:25 in the morning when I got back. So huge time Tuesday. Then Wednesday, I got invited to play in the Louisiana State Senate for State House of Representatives charity basketball game at the PMAC at LSU. Pretty cool, Moody. Got to hear my name called out at the PMAC in the warm-ups. It was a big event. The Southern University band was there. They were playing neck at halftime. There were a lot of lobbyists there, but there were definitely some people there. I think the most viral thing from that was when I met Kim Mulkey, to say the least. I took that picture with her that blew the internet up. A lot of people had a lot of thoughts on it. I don't really have anything to say on that other than the fact that it was great to meet Kim finally. She's best friends with the Monroe family that I grew up with. And so I really enjoyed meeting her. She's obviously a living legend basketball coach, and it was cool. She was very friendly. All that was good. As for the Senate, House of Representatives basketball game, Moody, I pulled the Mark Titus and pulled the Trillion. 0 points, 0 rebounds, 0 assists. I did force 1 turnover in my esteemed 3 minutes of action. The Senate team, I played with the Senators. We got beat by 9, I believe, by the House of Representatives. I think it was like 54-47. Never really had too much of a chance in the game, but fun event. And, it's cool to see that the government in Louisiana likes Barstool so much. I mean, like half of them knew me. All the senators did. A couple of the House reps did. PMAC was fun. That's where LSU plays. So thought that was a positive event. Headed back to NOLA on Wednesday night, and Thursday got to see the Rolling Stones at JazzFest. And man, look, I've seen the Stones. It's the 3rd time I've seen them. I saw them in Nashville in 2014 at the Titan Stadium, and I saw them in Vegas at Allegiant in 2021. But Moody, this show was so much better than both of those. I think it was like the nostalgia of seeing them in NOLA. And my dad is a huge Stones fan, like raised me. Like he always would play this cassette tape with like Get Off My Cloud and Satisfaction and Jumpin' Jack Flash and Mixed Emotions. So it like brought like waves of childhood memories back to me. And, I actually was kind of emotional during the show a lot. The coolest part of it, though, Irma Thomas originally sang Time Is on My Side in like 1964, the NOLA Soul Queen, and the Rolling Stones took that song from her, and it was their first big hit 60 years ago. And then they bring her up on stage in NOLA to sing the song with them in JazzFest 60 years later. I mean, that's incredible. And Mick Jagger was like, Irma, haven't seen you in 50 years. It's great to see you. But they played all the hits. They played like a Start Me Up opener, Give Me Shelter, Sympathy for the Devil, You Can't Always Get What You Want, Satisfaction Encore, Miss You, man, Tumbling Dice. I mean, Moody, it was just epic. And, to see Mick Jagger, he's like 83. He's like dancing like crazy during Miss You. How the hell is that even happening at that age? But, I mean, I'm going as far to say it. I've been going to JazzFest for like 20 years, and it was my favorite JazzFest show of all time. People were worried about how crowded it was going to be, but they actually sold like 60,000 tickets instead of 100 because they shut the whole festival down at the Acura stage, and they could only fit 60,000 there. I was in the back middle with a bunch of my good friends and had a good spot, and could not have had a better experience. Favorite JazzFest show of all time, as I said, and got a little emotional. Just all good things there. Thursday night, went to Joe Russo's Almost Dead. I always say they breathe new life into the Grateful Dead scriptures. I've been telling Big Cat forever they're the best Dead band. They actually, first time I've ever seen them, I've seen them like 12 times where I thought they had an off night on Thursday. It just wasn't a very good set list. It was kind of slow, whatever. I mean, it's the old saying, you never want to follow a legend, and they were after the Rolling Stones, so maybe that hurt them. But I decided to give them a shot for redemption on Saturday. Friday, I did more of the night shows than JazzFest the rest of the weekend. Had kind of like a crazy random music night on Friday where I went to Better Nezra at House of Blues. Moody, were you ever a Better Nezra fan being from Louisiana?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we listened to him a decent amount in high school. I wasn't the biggest fan, but a lot of my friends definitely jammed them in their trucks.
Yeah, and went to them at House of Blues. They played like their hits good and this time of year, and Desperately Wanting was kind of nostalgic, not somebody I'd see every day, but I hadn't seen him in 15 years. Then I just kind of went on one Friday, to say the least. And then I ended up in the Joy Theater for Lettuce Funk, the horn bands there at Krasno, playing guitar, caught the last hour of that, and was debating going to bed like a normal human being at 1:30. And I got talked into Neil Francis at the legendary NOLA Music Club Tipitinas. And Neil Francis is actually from Chicago. I'd seen him once before at the Toulouse Theater 2 years ago. Moody, I'm convinced he's the next big superstar in music. This dude looks like a cross between a young Mick Jagger and Jim Morrison. Plays the keys, has like a super smooth voice. He just burned Tipitina's down from like 2 to 4 a.m. Friday. And that was the second best show I saw all weekend. I walked out of there like 4:15 a.m. Just couldn't have been more impressed. He opened with like a Rock the Casbah cover. But highly suggest y'all check it out, Neil Francis, if you hadn't yet. I mean, he's the next big thing. And he's got a show with Andy Frasco, our friend, in My Morning Jacket at Salt Shed Fairgrounds here, July 4th. It's sure to be a monster in Chicago. On Saturday, so I kind of was trying to do like a balanced week where I did the basketball and some other stuff. Played the Harrah's New Orleans 500. And man, Moody, all of a sudden, people are starting to say, is the Destroyer back? That tournament started at 11:15 a.m. on Saturday. I was shook from the tips 4 a.m. Rolled in there at like 4 o'clock late regging, signed up with 20,000 chips at 501K and immediately got hot. And like my big double up, I got all in with like King 10 of hearts on a 5-3 deuce, 2 hearts against 8-6 of hearts. And my King high held and really kind of cruised till 15 or 20 left. There were 103 people. It was like 100, it was top 12 paid. And then I made this. I'll talk some poker on here. I'm obviously not going to go too crazy with it for stoolies, but I know people are always asking about it. Moody, I made this big fold that I was really proud of where guy opens at a first position, 13K at 4K, button calls, and I call with ace jack in the big blind, and it comes jack 8-7. And I check, and the dude just bombs 40K out of the front of the gun. The other guy folds. It's back to me, and I have 80K, and I tank folded ace jack on a jack 8-7 because I just felt like when he bombed it, after raising under the gun, I was like, this dude's got like queens or kings, and he's just trying to overbet to get my jack, and he's worried about how sketchy the board is. So I folded. He didn't show, but he swore he had queens later. We made the money with 12 left, and I got into this huge coin flip with ace king of hearts against sixes for the chip lead, and the flop comes 6-4 deuce, and the river comes to 6, so I never really had a chance. And I got to the final table, and I had like 80K at 4K, 8K, and luckily I picked up kings and got all in and doubled against tens, and kind of had a shot at it. And then there were 8 left when this hand goes down. And Moody, I want to ask if you can find a fold here, and Jake Marsh now joining us as well here for Wake Up Mintzy. We're pumped to have him. I'm about to have to adjust the computer here in a second because just the level of professionalism, as always, on Wake Up Mintzy is elite and top notch here. But Moody, okay, quick hand, and then we're gonna get to Jake. All right, first position guy at the final table opens like 40K at 5K, 10K, older tight guy, so look strong. Okay, middle position shoves 160K, looks strong as well. I have jacks and 170K in the cutoff. What do you do? Tough spot. I thought about it for a while, and I was like, I just don't see how I could fold this hand with 17 big blinds. So I stuck it in and was wrong. Under the gun had kings, and the other guy had the 2 jacks. So I was drawing deader than fried chicken up against jacks and kings. But luckily, I had the other guy with jacks covered, so I laddered from 8th to 7th and got 7th for like 1780, which was great because it paid for my whole JazzFest weekend. Right after that, on Saturday night, gave J-Rad a shot at redemption at the Fillmore, and they burned it down. Saw an awesome second set, played like trucking, one more Saturday night, all that. It's great. So no longer talking crap about them after their only off night I've ever seen on Thursday. Probably one of the missteps I made. I was just kind of fired up at that point. Went to Tipitina's again for a 2 a.m. super jam with like Dumpster Funk and Galactic. It was very good, but that 2 a.m. decision cost me Sunday at the festival because I was hurting. And I chilled on Sunday and got up and had to fly through Nashville yesterday. Got back as fast as I could. Got back at 1:15. And got in the office about 2:15. Definitely heard from Big Cat, and he asked how the vacation was. I said, I don't know, pretty good. I don't really know how to respond to that. And we're back. And we're back here in the office. We're ready to do Wake Up Mintzy. I'm going to keep my ass around Chicago a lot now. New Orleans run's done now that Mardi Gras Hogs and JazzFest are done. And it's time to enjoy living in a new city with this beautiful weather. And I'm about to go adjust the camera because Jake Marsh has now joined us in studio. We can't wait to catch up with Jake.
Thank you for having me, John.
Some next level production here. We've got Mintzy stepping behind the camera to get everything set up.
Like this, you're the host and the producer at the same time. You're not a one-trick pony.
Well, they keep telling me at Barstool I got to be more versatile and do more stuff. We do have Tyler Moody here producing, actually. but he's doing it from Shreveport. So,
Okay.
we've got it figured out where he can produce it. We're now joined by Jake Marsh in studio for Wake Up Mintzy, presented by the fine folks of Dude Wipes. Jake, first of all, thank you for coming this morning. How are you doing?
Thank you for having me. I've been waiting to get the invite on the show. I'm glad and honored that it happened, and excited to get going.
Well, I love keeping up with Jake because I'm nowhere, I'm not 1/50th of the announcer that he is, but I do have a background call. I did like 4 years of calling high school football games on the radio and love following the announcing world. And Jake is on an incredible trajectory in his career with that right now, plus Barstool. And, you kind of get your hands on a lot of things. And that's what's a lot of fun is, kind of talking about the versatility stuff. And, whether it be Barstool events such as mini golf or you're calling PGA Tour stuff, you call lacrosse, you've called the Barstool College Football Bowl Game, the Barstool Classic. You've done football, basketball, Barstool events, golf, lacrosse. How is that helping you so far as just like developing a versatile skill set?
Yeah, it's awesome. It's really cool. When I started here as an intern, it's about to be 5 years. Next month will be the 5-year anniversary. I never expected to get all of these opportunities from joining part of my take as an intern to basically just troll Darren Ravel. That was how I got my foot in the door here. But when I was in Syracuse, I had multiple alums. When they would speak to students, they would say, never say no to an opportunity and take advantage of every chance you get. And that's what I told myself when coming in. And it turned into crazy opportunities, and I'm very fortunate that it happened that way.
So you grew up in South Florida. How did you end up in Syracuse because of the broadcast school? Because you knew this, so you knew at a young age that's what you wanted to do with your career?
Yeah, that's the only reason I went up to Syracuse from Florida. Growing up, I was a huge Gator fan, and it was my dream school, and I got in, but then I was presented with a decision, and after doing research and visits, kind of like a recruit at for an athlete, but this was for a journalist. I went up to multiple schools, and I thought Syracuse was the best fit, and I'm glad it turned out that way.
What other schools? So you got into Florida, you end up at Syracuse. Did you apply to like Northwestern or Missouri?
I didn't do Northwestern Missouri. I did Indiana, Wisconsin, Maryland has a good journalism school. Shout out SVP. Then some other Florida schools, FSU and UCF.
Okay, because I mean, you see media like Syracuse and Northwestern specifically are the big J schools, and they're everywhere in media, and because they're known for that. So you end up in Syracuse, obviously a big adjustment being in upstate New York, coming from Florida as far as cold weather. But did you have a good college experience there?
Yeah, definitely. I think at the end of the day, it was really good. You definitely have to grind. It's kind of like pledging a fraternity at the student radio station. You have to get up at 6 a.m. and write mock sportscasts to get critiqued by the upperclassmen, and you don't really get on the air until you get cleared for that. So they try to weed out the people who aren't taking it seriously. But I knew the moment that I decided to go to Syracuse, I was all in on this business and all in on that goal of calling games one day for a big network. And yeah, it was a good choice.
So during college, you did the mock sportscast. Did you do any kind of like summer internships? How'd that go?
Yeah, I was a counselor at Sleepaway Camp for the first 2 summers. Then after my junior year, I was an intern. I like that little snipe.
The one-man gang.
Yeah. That was funny. Sorry.
No, you're good.
I was an intern after my junior year at MLB Network up in Secaucus, New Jersey. Stayed in New York City for a little bit. I was a production intern. There's actually a lot of Barstool employees behind the scenes, a lot of production employees who worked at MLB Network before. So
really?
Yeah. But it was a cool experience and got to learn how to edit there for the most part. So I can edit my own videos with Premiere, and for our radio station we use Adobe Audition. So being able, like you said, to be versatile, not just be on camera, but know how to edit my own stuff has helped a lot too.
Well, shout out to Corey Rutledge, our head of production. I'm meeting with him tomorrow, and I'm learning editing. I took a ton of B-roll from my last trip, and basically the people want more content. So we're working on the editing. That's going to be quite a journey for me because I don't know what the hell I'm doing. But the versatile skill set, we're working on it. So the Mintzy edits thing is coming. Do you have any advice for me on that?
Yeah, I think Corey's the best to learn from. For those who don't know Corey, he's one of the most creative guys we've got. He directs a lot of our commercials. The famous part of my cheesesteak commercial where I dressed up as a hot mom, he wrote the whole script on that, and he made me look like a superstar, even though I was a mom. But yeah, I think you're in great hands learning from Corey.
That's going to be certainly very interesting. I do have a lot of video log stuff from NOLA, so that's going to be the first one. So, we got to redeem these misunderstandings going around, passing my name around here lately. So, all right. So you did that. You did some interning, and then you graduated from Syracuse, and then you went. Is that when you went to Vermont?
Yeah, so I graduated from Syracuse May of 2018, so approaching 6-year anniversary. And then that summer, I heard that there was an opening for University of Vermont men's basketball radio play-by-play gig. Submitted my tape, resume, took an interview, and fortunately got the job. And I was there for 2 seasons. Our first season, this is right after I graduated from college, we went to the NCAA tournament. We were 13 seed and lost to Florida State. But being able to call March Madness game right after graduation from college was a really, really special experience.
What was that like at Vermont? Because the Catamounts, I mean, they've been, everybody knows about Taylor Coppenrath, even if it's 19 years later now, but they consistently make the tournament. They got a great program, and I've always heard it's a pretty cool place. What did you lived up in Vermont those couple of years?
Yeah, so I was there for 2 winters, 2 seasons, and they have first-class program. Coach Becker is one of the best mid-major coaches in college basketball. Like you said, they dominate the America East, and some people call them the Gonzaga of the East Coast because they're just dominant and they're always there. But it was a lot of fun.
I want to go back to this Darren. So you trolled Darren Ravel. Like, how did all that story go down with you getting the part of my take internship?
Yeah, so it was in between my 2 seasons at Vermont. So this was spring of 2019, right around 5 years ago to the day. I was listening to PMT just as any other AWL would, and I heard that they were looking for a summer intern, and I submitted my resume, I think it was just my resume, along with the email to Hank saying, hey, not sure how I can help, but I'm available all summer. I did this, I did that. I graduated from Syracuse. Next thing you know, they call me up to come in for an interview. So I fly up to New York, and Big Cat whispers to PFT something. And then he says, how would you like to be our Darren Ravel troll for the summer? I said, without hesitating, I'm in. Like I said, never say no to an opportunity. And that opportunity has landed me here 5 years later. I never thought it would take me here.
What was that internship like that summer?
It was crazy. Just going from a former college grad who had a couple hundred followers to being on a platform of the #1 podcast in the world was a crazy experience. But I'm fortunate, and it was really cool. I remember the first time that something kind of popped off online was when I went to the original XFL Combine, and I raced Darren in a 40-yard dash in a full suit.
Oh, yeah?
And he hurt himself, and there was like a viral video that said, hey, get out of here. This isn't your content, is what he said. And I remember that's the first time I kind of got under his skin. But there's no hard feelings. It was a lot of fun that summer.
Hell yeah. So did you get hired full-time after that summer?
I went back to Vermont for year 2, worked for PMT remotely. And then the second year after that, COVID happened, and I became full-time here.
Okay. Now I want to get into the broadcast and stuff because, like I said, what's cool to me to follow is the fact your versatility. And, lately you've been calling PGA golf, and you've been going down to Jacksonville studios. You just called Zurich, which Rory and McIlroy and Shane Lowry won, and that's where you're heading this week.
Yeah, I'm heading back tomorrow. We've got a signature event. It's the Wells Fargo Championship. Okay. So all the big names, minus Scotty Scheffler, who's about to become a dad, will be playing in this one. So excited to see all the big names. Like you said, Rory, Max Homa, really excited to call some Max Homa shots. I think that's kind of a cool little thing because full circle with knowing him from PMT the last few years and being able to call live shots of his makes me really excited.
So, all right, I want to ask about golf first, and we're going to get into some of the other stuff. Because calling golf is a totally different animal because it's like, I know it's kind of long form and you prep and you have stories and relationships, but it's, and then you're getting sent to all. So when you're calling, are you calling just the group, like one group, or are you calling like, how does it work?
So the way PGA Tour Live works is there's 4 different streams going on at once. There's the main feed, which kind of bounces around and shows everything. There's a marquee group, which is the big names. There's featured groups, which shows other big names. And then there's featured holes, which you just post up at all the par threes, depending on the course layout for that week. So depending on what tournament I'm working, they give you your stream assignment, and you bounce around between those streams. Yeah.
Okay. As far as calling golf, do you like keep, because like I've watched, you know, like I said, because I have a little bit of announcing background, I follow your thing close because I'm trying to learn and get better. Golf, you don't ever really raise your voice too much though, because it's kind of like more of a bass like thing. And then like, you know, I've heard you turn it up like Gus Johnson style on like the winning play in the Barstool college football, the Barstool Bowl stuff. But like golf, it's more like stay balanced, or is that like
I think there's a lot of downtime for golf where you're just kind of storytelling, diving into the player. But you still have those opportunities to get up when they sink a long putt or they throw a dart off the tee. I remember the last tournament a couple of weeks ago, Xander Schauffele was 6 inches away from a hole-in-one, and I got pretty loud. So there's opportunities to get really excited, but yeah, a lot of the time it's low key.
So because it's lower key, is it like, do you, I mean, obviously you prep a ton. I see you working and you're very organized. Do you prep more for golf because of all the downtime than the other ones?
Yeah, I think it depends on the assignment I get. If I'm on a featured group, I really only have to lock in on those 3 or 6 guys. But this week I'm going to be splitting time between the main feed, which I'm excited about, my first time on the main feed, and the featured hole. So I kind of have to have something for everyone because you never know who I'm going to get thrown my way.
Okay. And so moving forward this summer, is this your last golf event or do you have some more coming?
Right now this is the last one on my schedule, but this one was just added a few weeks ago. So hopefully I keep doing what I'm doing, and PGA Tour, I'd be honored if they kept giving me more opportunities this summer.
And this is on the Golf Channel. Like, how can we?
It's on PGA Tour Live on ESPN Plus. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And then, like, that's, like I said, it's fun to see all the other stuff you've done. You know, you call both Barstool Invitationals and basketball with Dave and Dan. How was that experience?
It was a lot of fun. And I'd say the most fun I've had in a booth was the first Barstool Arizona Bowl.
That was a hell of a game.
Combined, both games ended on the last play,
Mm-hmm.
but the first one was extra special because if you rewind the clock back to the 2021 game, it was supposed to be
the COVID got us.
Yeah, it was supposed to be Boise State against Central Michigan, and I had all my prep ready. It was the day before I was supposed to fly out to Tucson, and they pulled the plug. I think there was a COVID outbreak with Boise State. I was down bad. I was super bummed. I was ready to call a real college football bowl game on a huge platform, and I was super excited. And then they pulled the plug with 3 days to go, and I was devastated. That's what made the next year extra special, because you had to wait the extra 365 days. And then on top of that, you get an overtime thriller with Ohio over Wyoming. It was really, really special.
Yeah. And it was interesting because you're doing the play-by-play, and you've called games with a lot of people and stuff, but doing it with Dave and Dan.
Yeah.
Especially Dave. I mean, it's obviously Dave and Dan, two of the biggest sports media personalities in the world, but like Dave's all over the place. Mm-hmm. And what makes those broadcasts so unique is he'll just say anything at any time. He'll tell you how he feels, he'll talk about the gambling, you know, he'll do whatever. What's that like, just trying to, I don't want to say rein him in, but like keep things on the track?
Yeah, definitely. I think at the end of the day, it's even more important that it's my job to keep things on track and keep it as professional as possible, because as much as we are an unconventional company, and we do things differently than the other traditional networks, we're still the exclusive broadcast rights holder for a college football game. So at the end of the day, there's still thousands, if not millions of people who are watching this, just hoping to learn about the players, the teams, and what happens in the game. So that was my job. Obviously, Dan and Dave add a fun sprinkle to it. So I just focused on that. Obviously, they could open their mouths and say whatever they wanted at any time, and I was going to work around them because they're the stars. I'm just there to help keep things moving. But if they talked over me, it wasn't the end of the world.
Yeah, you just roll with the punches. Roll with the punches. Yeah. And yeah, obviously Barstool has a little more of a gambling thing going. And so it was such a unique broadcast. And look, by all accounts, I mean, people love both games. They're both thrillers.
Yeah.
You know, I know that was a cool experience. And then you did the Invitational the last 2 years in basketball. You did the Philly Wells Fargo Center, and then we did the Chicago one.
Yep.
this year. How'd those go for you?
It was a lot of fun. I remember the end of the first invitational. It was Mississippi State Akron. It was like a 25-point game, and Dave and Dan, and along with the whole arena, had
Yeah,
thousands of people yelling at someone to shoot
for the
for
over.
the over. And you had never really seen that before, but with the legalization of gambling, everyone was allowed to do it, but you don't really see that often. But yeah, some great moments, a lot of fun. Sadly, I don't think that's part of our plan anymore here at Barstool.
No, yeah, and I saw the Barstool Bowl became the Snoop Dogg
Snoop Dogg Bowl,
came to the Snoop Dogg Gin and Juice Bowl yesterday.
Yeah, I'm really fortunate for these opportunities, and it's been a lot of fun, and I'll always have those memories in that tape. But sadly, I don't know how many more, if any, we're gonna get.
What about you've also done some Premier League lacrosse? Is that more in the plans for this year?
I'd
And
love to be involved.
that's really grown.
Yeah, they're doing a great job with the league. They just designated cities to the A team. I believe the PLL draft is tonight.
Okay.
But yeah, hopefully I'll be involved again this summer, and that's always fun as well.
Yeah, and then so what Big Cat and PFT, do they own a piece of the Philadelphia Water Dogs?
Yeah.
Is that the relationship?
Yeah, so they have a stake in the Water Dogs, champions 2 years ago, runners up last year, and they're going to be posted up in Philly this year, which will be a lot of fun.
Hell yeah. Well, so you're kind of got your hands in a lot of pots, and then obviously you're in here day to day. You're part of Pardon My Take, a huge part of it, and have been the sports business reporter now for 5 years. I mean, I know you love it. That never gets old, right?
Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, those guys are the best. No matter what happens with my career, I'll always have them to thank for giving me this huge break. We know how difficult this business is, and it's really hard to make it for a while, let alone try to make it to the top. And I can't be happier with the trajectory that I've been on right now. And I have them to thank for it, because they put me on the map. They gave me these great opportunities. And my dad always says that the harder you work, the luckier you get. And the fact that I was able to land here with those guys, I'll have to thank them forever for whatever happens.
What is it different? Obviously, Big Cat and PFT are everything on that show, but how different is it not having Billy Football around anymore?
Very different. I think he and I were a good kind of like opposites attract kind of situation, where he's the jock, he's the athlete, he's the dude guy, and I'm just there as like the nerd stats guy. But so I miss that dynamic, but the show's in great hands right now. Max has become a huge part of it with his Philly status, which everyone knows how that has gone.
I've been really impressed with him.
Yeah, he's the best. Yeah, he's really good behind the scenes when it means business, and he obviously is a content character. As
wow, we've got somebody else stumbling in the door, so I'm gonna have to go adjust the computer again. But last week on Mostly Sports, we had hang on a second, I'm gonna adjust the computer. But
waiter.
Wow, I brought a bagel with cream cheese. Wow. Okay.
Is this a daily thing, Liam?
Hang on a second, I'm about to adjust.
Fine, Ben. You're good. Tell Blutman to scoot his chair up. You're good.
Okay, but
Are you
scoot your chair up a little bit, Blutman?
Breakfast guy?
This could not be a daily thing.
Is this the first time this is happening?
So Blutman, I saw this announced on Mostly Sports last week. He was optioned for Mostly Sports to Wake Up Mintzy.
See that.
So now Blutman joins us. I mean, you're always welcome on Wake Up Mintzy. I'm on the record saying, since we did that Palm Beach trip together, I'm a Blutman roadie. Palm Springs. I'm sorry, I got them confused. I did Palm Beach, Florida, and Palm Springs. We did the tennis trip for Top Spin 2K when I didn't spoil the game getting announced at all. And Blutman, welcome to Wake Up Mintzy. How are you this morning?
I'm doing well. Enjoy your bagel.
Okay. I don't know. I think I might just stare at it because
No. You have to create the bagel.
Oh, that's the point. Okay, I've got to create.
Oh, is that what you were told to do?
No. It's just I just got him a bagel.
All right, I'll try to create the bagel. Love having you here too because you're an NHL fan. Sorry about the Knights. I know you're a fan. You got beaten 7, but y'all won the Stanley Cup last year, so you can't be that mad. Last night the Bruins. A lot of people thought after that emotional Game 7 comeback that they'd be a little flat 2 nights later, having to fly down to Florida. They came out and whipped some ass, 5-1.
Yep. Really good performance from them. I can't really speak on it. I didn't get to watch any of it. I was with Tate for his first pitch series.
How did that go? Y'all went to Indiana last night?
Yeah, we did. I can't the video comes out tonight so people could see how he did, but it was really fun. Really dope atmosphere over there at Crown Point, Indiana.
Crown Point, Indiana.
Hmm.
So now how many has he done?
Um,
'Cause he's throwing a lot of first pitches.
Next, we're going to high school. We've done T-ball, we've done kid pitch, we've done little league, and now high school's next up. And
If he
then
throws a strike tonight.
if he throws a strike tonight, yeah.
Yeah.
So he has to throw a strike for y'all to move
Has to
up.
throw a strike.
Is he not throwing any? Well, you don't want to spoil the video. Or not.
I don't want to spoil
The
it.
first two, he was perfect, right?
First two, he was perfect. Great placement on the first one on the tee. Second one, got there. He was very nervous. He was very nervous about yesterday. See if he gets it done. If he does, the order is going to be like high school, then college, single A, double A, triple A, majors, playoff game.
Okay. Well, speaking of Tate, I've got to talk to him because we're supposed to start me going back to school, Billy Madison style, with him teaching me in the next couple of weeks, and I have to pass kindergarten through 12th grade.
Wow.
And I think there's going to be a party when I pass junior high and high school.
Wow.
Yeah, I got some concerns though. I mean, I don't think if I have to take a bunch of Spanish and like biology and trigonometry and stuff, that might actually be kind of hard.
Yeah. Trigonometry, sine, cosine, tangent.
Yeah, that all that stuff doesn't seem very
No, it's not easy.
no, that doesn't seem very easy at all. I think I didn't screw up the bagel too much.
Yeah, looks good.
Looks pretty solid.
Looks decent. I've screwed up more recently. Other playoff hockey that I want to touch on with you. Rangers up 1-0 on Carolina, game 2. You've been on record saying you love watching this New York Rangers team. Do you think there's any chance they lose the series?
I've also been on record saying Carolina is a bunch of frauds and can't win the cup, so I'm all in on New York this series. I like them in 5 or 6. Their power play's lethal. If Carolina keeps handing them power play opportunities, the series is over quickly. Yeah, I like New York a lot. They're deep, great defense, great goaltending. There's a really good hockey team, Mintzy.
And then looking at the Western Conference, Dallas and Colorado game 1 tonight. Dallas able to fight back from that 2-0 deficit.
Yep.
I mean, did you? I mean, like you said, the Vegas just winning it last year. I know you're a big Vegas fan. I'm from Vegas. The fact y'all won it last year probably eased some of the pain, I would think.
Yeah, it does, but also knowing that you have a team that's capable of going back to back and seeing so many injuries kind of hinder the team's performance, and a lack of effort and desire in some games really messes things up. But can't really do anything about it. Jake Marsh was incredible. There's a contingent of Stars fans out there that think he's not built for it and isn't the guy in net to help him win the cup. That's ridiculous. I think the system that the board puts out there is what really ruins things for them and is why they can't win the cup. But they're a deep team. They didn't get much from everyone in the Vegas series. Wyatt Johnston and Logan Stankoven were incredible. Jake Marsh was elite, and it's scary to think about what they could be when the whole team performs well. I think Colorado's a wagon, though. I think they're.
Are you like Colorado in the series?
Colorado in 6, yeah.
Okay. And then what about the Edmonton Vancouver? Because I know there's been so much talk. A team hadn't won the Stanley Cup in Canada since '93. You've got an Edmonton Vancouver Western Conference semifinal. Who do you like in that series?
It's tougher on Vancouver now. Being on a third string goalie, although he's played well. He's played real well. It was against Nashville in a very low event, low shot series. Edmonton's gonna have so much volume. They're gonna have power play opportunities as well. Probably over in 5, if I had to guess. I don't think it's hard for me to think that Edmonton could actually win a Stanley Cup with their defense and with their goaltending, but and really lack of depth, truthfully. I still don't love their depth up front and their forward group, but when you get LA and get bully them for the 3rd straight year, and then you get kind of depleted Vancouver team in the second round, maybe deplete, it's not the right word, but whatever. Those two opponents for your first 2 rounds of the Stanley Cup playoff, the hardest tournament to win out there, like, that's a gift. You gotta make do with that, and they should get to the Western Conference Final. They should be fresh, healthy, ready to go against Dallas or Colorado, and they should be in good shape.
Jake, I know you're a South Florida sports fan. Do you follow the Panthers, right?
I follow the Panthers. I don't live and die by them.
You just follow playoffs.
Yeah. I watched last night's game. The Bruins obviously looked good, but long series, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I know Florida made the Stanley Cup last year. I went to Game 5 when Vegas beat them like 9-3, and that was the craziest atmosphere I've ever seen.
Yeah.
In a sporting event. Did either one of y'all? I know you're not as into NBA right now, right?
Don't know what's happening. Don't really care, truthfully. Not an NBA guy.
Well, I want to comment on what's happening in Denver because Minnesota held the Nuggets to 80 points last night. They were
without Gobert.
Yeah, they were who had a kid coming. They were
Yeah.
7.5-point underdog, and they won 106-80 on the road. They take both the games at Denver. They were, like I said, a big underdog last night. Now, I mean, they steal the home court. You know, Denver always known for being tough at home at Mile High with that altitude advantage. I mean, how big's their panic button right now? It's got to be pretty damn big, I would
I'd
think.
say it's closest to the highest that you can get.
I mean, they're in a game 3 total do or die now.
Yeah, definitely. I think they're in big trouble.
Yeah, they're down 2-0. Thunder Mavs game 1 tonight. You know, the Thunder hadn't played since last Monday when I was on the floor for them sweeping the Pelicans. They might be a little rusty. Luka's been fighting through a sprained knee, but it seems like he's all right. He hadn't really missed any time. Do you have any thoughts on that series?
I think that's going to be a fun one. I think a lot of people are disrespecting the Thunder as the #1 seed. They're a very young team. But I think they have what it takes. And then obviously Luka is going to be the best player on the floor every time. So, yeah.
That should be a lot of fun as a series. And then the 2 Eastern Conference ones. What's going on with this Jalen Brunson playoff thing, man? It's 42 again last night. His over-under was 36.5 points last night. He hit the over.
Yeah.
He's going in the 40s every night. He broke Bernard King's record for most points in a playoff game with 46 or 47 last week, I believe. And, man, he's got MSG just on fire.
Yeah.
He had 16 in the fourth last night.
It's incredible. I think everyone, both at this company and the league office, is probably rooting for a New York versus Boston Eastern Conference final. That would be the best for ratings and best for content here at the office. I know Hank's super confident. Hank is back on part of my take. So I think a Celtics-Knicks Eastern Conference finals would be best.
Yeah, and then so tonight, Celtics-Cavs game 1. I'm not giving the Cavs much chance in the series.
I don't think anyone is.
No, I mean, they got away with one in that 7-game series. They came back from 17 or 18 down in game 7, but I think Boston in like 5.
Yeah, probably.
So I think we're looking at Boston. The Pacers, I mean, the Pacers had the lead a lot last night.
Yeah,
Halliburton's struggling, though. He only had 6 points last night.
Yeah, he'll turn it up. They'll make it a series.
You think they'll make it a series?
I think the Knicks will win, yeah.
Okay, and then in the what do you have? And you sounds like you like the Thunder a little bit.
Yeah.
That one could go 6 or 7.
Yeah, that one could go deep. And then Minnesota, obviously, up to
you. Don't think Denver, I mean, do you think they're done?
I think they have a shot.
Yeah, Denver, I mean, that's crazy to see them get blown out like that. But this Minnesota team, my buddy has them 20-1 on DraftKings. But man, with Anthony Edwards and their big guys are giving Jokic so much trouble with their length and athleticism. And then Naz Reid won 6th man of the year hitting threes. You know, Cat, Gobert, Anthony Edwards is like, man, he's just like a linebacker out there.
Mm-hmm.
But they got a real shot to win it all.
Absolutely. I think the Celtics are heavy favorites right now, but anyone can come out of the West.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to fall in NBA and NHL playoffs, bunch of games tonight. Looking forward to that Stars Avalanche series, as you mentioned. Liam, what else you up to? You're doing the first pitch series. Obviously, you've been optioned down for Mostly Sports, but you're still a part of it. Y'all's first Unnecessary Roughness came out yesterday, too. Some changes to the show. It's you and Ev have replaced Katie and Jack Mack. Y'all are with Brandon and Katie. How'd that go? Casey, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it went pretty well. Had fun just talking college football. Pretty refreshing to talk college football after a few months off with people who know a lot about the game and the landscape. And I don't know, it's kind of crazy that still a few months left before a season starts, which kind of stinks. It's still gonna be a long time before we can actually talk about a lot of the important things like games and what's going to happen and what did happen. But I thought we did pretty well for first episode with like a bunch of new people and having to learn each other's tendencies and whatever and just find stuff to talk about. Thank you to Dion for giving us some stuff to talk.
Are you talking about the Shador, like not knowing who those transfers were?
Yeah, I'm talking about Colorado picking fights with Austin P. I think we could go for some better opponents, but is what it is.
I want to ask you before we get out of here, where are you on the Ole Miss Rebels 2024 season? They're 14-1 to win the title right now. I've never seen a more hyped up season in the history of my school. Crushed the transfer portal, 3rd-year starting quarterback back. I mean, finally loaded in the trenches. I mean, feels like playoffs are very reachable if they win 10. Do you think do you believe or no?
I don't think I could take them to win Natty, but I think playoffs right there, and I'm going to have a lot of fun watching Jackson Dart throw some footballs to Trey Harris and to Antoine Wells.
Yeah, man, getting Juice Wells, loaded receiving core.
Freshman year at JMU, he's the real deal. He's a future NFL receiver. Having him as really you're coming in as WR2, pretty nasty.
Yeah, and still got Watkins, who's really good. Big JUCO transferring Deion Smith. I mean, the receiving core is loaded. Got a great tight end and pre-scoring. I know this is months out from college football, but being an Ole Miss fan for over 20 years, we've never been this hyped up.
I just can't wait for college football.
Me too.
I mean, it's May, and we're very giddy and excited about it.
We just got done with all the spring and spring and stuff, and so we're kind of thought it was interesting. They came out. I saw a thing tweeting out all LSU's point spreads on DraftKings yesterday, and there were 2.5-point favorites over Ole Miss, 5-point favorites over Oklahoma, 6 LSU USC to kick off the year in Vegas on Sunday night. LSU's a 6-point favorite. Miller Moss looked awesome in that bowl game.
Yeah, I talked about Miller Moss a bit on the pod yesterday. I love Miller Moss. LSU plays USC and UCLA this season, which is kind of bizarre. It's kind of weird for SEC team to be playing those two Big Ten powers.
Yes,
what it is. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of good stuff going on in college football this season. A lot of breakout's the wrong word, but a lot of really good players that are going to like. I don't know, because I was talking about yesterday. There's a lot of guys on the cusp of being a star, but a lot of like college football fans don't really know about them yet. In a way, like James Pierce should be talked about a lot more than he already is. Like he's not being talked about enough. That should be the surefire #1 pick right now. I don't know, you have so much talent. Patrick Payton from Florida State should be talked about like he's a star and he's not. So after he plays a game or two, people are gonna be, oh wow, this guy's a top 5 pick, perhaps. We kind of know that now, just not everyone does. So I'm excited to see all these people break out and showcase their game and be talked about a lot heavily on the national scale.
Yeah, we're about 4 months from the start of the season. It starts a little later this year. That first week 1's like September 8th, I think, this year. It's a little later, but hey, man, 4 months. At least we got a long summer to get hyped up. I mean, I don't know. I'm already super ready for
college
it. I mean,
football soon. Let's get hyped, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, just that Peach Bowl second half when Ole Miss destroyed Penn State, and I was there. I was like, I mean, this season can't come fast enough. I can't freaking wait. Y'all have any fun summer plans? No.
Hopefully get better at golf.
Watch sports.
There you go. I'm looking forward to just being in Chicago more. I know I've been on the road like a ton, but the summer's the time to be here, and I'm just looking forward to getting to know the city. We got the NCAA college baseball tournament starting soon.
Are you going back to Omaha?
I think so. I'm gonna plan on. I don't think I'm going the whole time, but I think I'm gonna try to go for a couple days. The current debate, and I'm gonna talk to the higher ups here because after last week I got in a little trouble. I'm going to see if they want me to go to the SEC tournament in Birmingham or not in Hoover, because I've had very viral stuff with the Vandy Whistler the last few weeks. And I'm going to go ahead and throw this out there. I'm trying to do Wake Up Mintzy on the road there.
Oh, wow.
My buddies have a left field tailgate. They do a huge tailgate every year, do crawfish and Louisiana stuff. And the games start at 9 a.m. in Hoover. So you can do a Wake Up Mintzy right in front of it.
Wow. That would be electric.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Bagels for everyone.
What's up?
You can make bagels for everyone.
Yeah, well, they do, man. They do like crawfish and jambalaya and red beans. All these LSU fans go every year.
Right.
So that's in 2 weeks. So that's kind of on my radar, that and I'm all. But looking forward to the NCAA tournament. And yeah, man, I'm going to play the World Series of Poker main event again. Got a little heat there. So should be, it's going to be a great summer. Loving this weather in Chicago, though, now.
So far, so
finally, I'm really looking forward to just getting out. And I hadn't been to a Cubs game yet. Have y'all?
Yeah, I actually went on Sunday. It was cool. My first one.
You have a good time?
Yeah, great atmosphere.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went like 20 years ago with my dad, but I hadn't been a long time. Well, Blutman, I'm glad to have you optioned down to Wake Up Mintzy. I hope hope you're not too ashamed to walk in here.
No, love it here. I just want to make sure you enjoy your bagel.
I am. Okay, let me give a quick bagel bite here.
There you go.
Yeah, it's good. Usually toast it a little bit, but
I didn't have you could have toasted, I guess.
And I know it always tastes good with Stella Blue coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Only way to start your day is with Stella Blue coffee. Check out StellaBlueCoffee.com, and also check out their cold brew. Got amazing brands of cold brew now. It's summertime. Iced coffee is what it's all about. And shout out again to Dude Wipes. No show needs messes cleaned up more than Wake Up Mintzy. Find them all over the country. Walmart, Target, internet. They're everywhere. Hell, my dad even found them in Monroe, Louisiana at the Walmart the other night. And man, one used to Dude Wipes, though, for real. Like, you just try it once, you're like, where have I had this product the rest of my life? Tomorrow, an old blast from my past going to be here. My buddy T-Bob Hebert from ESPN Baton Rouge is up in Chicago this week. He actually got hired at Barstool off him retweeting that video of me doing the hottie toddy. But he's friends with Big Cat and knows Walker and stuff because they go on ESPN Baton Rouge. We're going to have him in studio for Wake Up Mintzy. Also want to mention a couple other things. Next Thursday, I'm hosting comedy night at the Laugh Factory. Nick Traney, Mook, Chris Bader, all performing. Brandon Walker did a hell of a job hosting it a couple months ago. I was really impressed. I went. But, I mean, if he can do it, I got to do it, right?
Yeah.
Looking forward to that. Get tickets at the Laugh Factory Chicago. That's next Thursday night. And the last thing I got for this week, I signed up for this run, the Night Nation Run. It's the first ever running music festival. It's a 5K at Soldier Field Saturday night. You wear like glow sticks and you're running and there's DJs all over the course and it's lit up. But I was like looking at it. I was like, you know what? I don't have any plans Saturday. I'm going to run this 5K. I need to figure out if I can wear a GoPro during it. Because with all the DJ and the music, I think it sounds like a fun opportunity. And I mean, I'm just looking to get my ass moving again here.
Yeah.
We got to get on the wagon. So that's Saturday night. So that ought to be a lot of fun. The Night Nation Run. Check that out. If you're looking for to do some moving with me. I wouldn't say, I mean, I'm shooting a run under 30 minutes. I'm not going to just kill myself. Last thing too, Jake, we got to play tennis together.
Let's do it.
Yeah. And I think people want a tennis match with us. I know.
Tell me when and where.
Yeah, now that we got good weather, let's figure it out. Let's get somebody. Maybe we'll get Blutman to go with us and film some a little bit. I know
absolutely. He's a big tennis guy.
I know he's a big tennis guy. You got to see me play.
I can't wait.
Yeah, I mean I'm not like elite, but I'm pretty good, and I know Jake is good. I mean, I'm going to be a big underdog to him, but I think I've been wanting to go play with you for a while.
I'm in.
All right, awesome. Well, thanks to Jake Marsh and Blutman for my bagel, which was lovely.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, of course. And thanks to Dude Wipes and Stella Blue for sponsoring Wake Up Mintzy. We'll have T-Bob Aber tomorrow. And, we're back. We're every week. I know we didn't do last week, so I guess I can't say we're every week, but we did 5 weeks in a row before. Shout out Tyler Moody from Louisiana holding the ship together in our Barstool production team. Let's have a hell of a week, fellas. Thanks, Moody. What's up, fellas? As y'all know, it's been a hell of a messy year. And the only thing messier than my online history are my big old fat sweaty dumps. That's why this season, I only trust Dude Wipes to handle my Mississippi mud pies.
Oh, Mintzy, you're cooking now. Ooh, wait.
When you're hot, you're hot.